कौन हो तुम? रिश्ते में तो हम तुम्हारे बाप होते हैं।
एक्शन।
यो
कौन सा पॉडकास्ट हो गया ये? नंबर
7 मेरा भाई।
7 हो गए। ओह माय गॉड,
7 हो गए। ओ माय गॉड हमारी सिलेक्शन हो गई।
चल रहा है सो
अच्छा
6 हो
7वां
गए।
चल रहा है।
Okay.
इट्स लाइक योर एज कि तू 50 साल का हो गया है, 50 लग गया और अब 51 होने वाला है, ऐसा।
आई जस्ट क्रॉस 18।
ये नरकुंडी ना इतना सिक आदमी, मैं तुमको बता रहा हूँ। हम आ रहे थे भी लिफ्ट में और एक आंटी अपने बच्चे को लेके, क्या बोलते हैं कि आने लिफ्ट की तरफ आने की कोशिश करी थी। बच्चा थोड़ा नखरे कर रहा था, लाइक ऑल किड्स डू, राइट? तो इसने देखा उनको ऐसे पलट के आते वक्त, तो इसने क्लोज दबा। तो मैंने बोला तो उनके आने से पहले मैंने कहा क्यों आने क्यों नहीं दिया तूने उनको? बोलता है देख वो नाटक कर रहा था, अब क्योंकि वो लिफ्ट में नहीं चढ़ पाई तो मारेगी अपने बच्चे को, तो मजा आएगा। तो मैंने कहा यार क्या, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ सिक थिंग,
स्टेटिस्ट आदमी है।
यस सेडिस्ट थिंकिंग
छोटी
है।
खुशियां।
अरे वो क्या बोलते हैं कि किसी ने मुझे बहुत ही एक सिक आदमी से याद आया कि किसी ने मुझे चिबड़ा जोक सुनाया कि एक बार नरकुंडी तू और गुरुजी कहीं खड़े हुए थे रोड पे और ऐसे लफंगापन कर रहे थे ना, ऐसे लुंगाड़ी वाली हरकतें। देयर वाज दिस लाइक लेडी वॉकिंग एंड शी वाज वेयरिंग अ वेरी टाइट टी शर्ट विद लाइक एरोप्लेन ड्रॉन ऑन इट, राइट? और वो जा रही थी एंड शी वाज अ लिटिल बस्टी लेडी। सो तुम तीनों आपस में देख के थोड़ा मुस्कुराने, लूड कमेंट्स पास करने लगे। तो तो लड़की थोड़ा गुस्सा हो गई, तो आके बोलती है कि क्यों, कभी एरोप्लेन नहीं देखा क्या? तो गुरुजी बोलते हैं कि एरोप्लेन तो देखा है पर ऐसा एयरपोर्ट नहीं देखा।
क्या?
That doesn't work with women, then what will?
Oh,
या
एक बात बता, इस जोक में से तूने अपने आप को क्यों निकाला? तूने मुझे, गुरुजी और नरकुंडी को डाल दिया।
ये बस
I don't
नैरेटिव
know.
है।
It just felt like कि तुम तीनों नीचे खड़े हुए थे और ऐसा
तुम
हुआ होगा
तीनों।
तुम्हारे साथ। हाँ, I don't know why.
ठीक है,
Because
नॉट हम,
the
तुम तीनों।
because the three of you are fathers, so it won't like really hurt your chances with women anymore. इसलिए मैंने अपने आप को
Yeah,
बाहर
but it will increase the chances of us getting hurt by women
वो ठीक है ना, चलो
at home
अब
specifically.
वो तो अब तुमको आदत हो जानी चाहिए। चलो भाई, आज सीटी पे क्या चल रहा है? रुक जाओ, लेट मी शेयर माय थोड़ा स्क्रीन।
CD is dead.
आज कौन
CD is
लिक्विडेट
CD is
हुआ?
crying.
Today
Yeah,
everybody's
Goodbyes.
crying.
How many farewells?
Yeah. CD
दो
is
चार
crying.
कॉलें
Yeah,
तो मुझे
exactly.
सुबह से आ
Many
चुकी हैं।
farewell tweets.
यार 2-4 कॉलें मुझे सुबह से आ गई है, भाई what do we do? Do we get out? Is the market going to crash?
What's the plan?
ओके, ये दिख रहा है तुमको? कैन यू, एक तो नहीं, हाँ ये दिख रहा है।
क्या चल रहा है?
ये जो, हाँ ये जो अपना, जिसको तुम सब इनसाइडर बोल रहे थे, तू स्पेशली क्रिप्टो एडी कि ये इनसाइडर है, और ये सब बैरन ट्रम्प की फोटो लगा रहे हैं कि ये ना देखो लॉन्ग ले रहा है। ये बंदा फाइनली लिक्विडेट हो गया, $33 million
Yeah, bro, I saw that.
प्रॉफिट, या इज गॉन, मतलब कि कंप्लीटली लिक्विडेटेड। सो आई
Yeah.
थिंक द मार्केट is done by like early adopters and now come to like OGs and whales to like liquidate them.
Yeah, I mean, honestly speaking, the move that happened last night was ऐसा लग रहा था just to get these sort of people out of the market.
Actually, like यानी अपनी बात
But
नहीं
it
हुई
also
थी।
looked very organic, to be honest.
No, I don't understand कि it was organic, the move was organic, but like I mean, if we are able to analyze कि कि तेरे alt BTC pairs are gonna go down, मतलब कि तेरे alts पे थोड़ा correction आएगा, मतलब तेरा BTC पे भी तो अगर dominance ऊपर जा रहा है, so you can see a little bit of correction on BTC. ये इतने बड़े बड़े वेल हैं, ये क्यों लिक्विडेट हो रहे हैं? लाइक आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड। या इन्होंने तुक्के में पैसे बना लिए और
Yeah, I'm guessing it's that as well. I mean, honestly speaking, if you got $33 million in profit, the most logical thing to do would be at least get half of it into realized book and then play with whatever you've got remaining, right? That's what your
yeah,
logic, or at least get your capital safe, right? That's what the logical stance should be. But yeah, I don't understand these people. Matlab, usne 33 million banaya, and then he bet all of it on shorts and longs, and then got liquidated for 40 million. He lost his capital, he lost his profit, and probably added more to maintain his margin. So I don't understand these people.
this is like quite a Narkundi move, I think. क्यों?
Yeah.
I called it.
हमारे पास भी ऐसे हैं लोग ग्रुप में जो इस तरह की ट्रेडिंग करते
now, but now he's just buying like $3,000 of Bitcoin a day, no? So he'll be like the next Michael Saylor.
Yeah. Did you see his interview today where he said he sold, I don't know,
he sold?
He sold his stocks to. He so basically he got rid of
he made an arbitrage profit basically.
Yeah, arbitrage profits.
Oh, wow.
So what he did was he essentially, I think what he did was he sold stocks, got cash, bought BTC. BTC price went up. I think his stocks were pretty much flat, or BTC outperformed the stock price.
Yeah,
then I think he must have taken a loan against the BTC and bought back the stocks at a cheaper rate, or something he pulled off. I was reading this on CT somewhere.
Yeah, we did that, and I think he made like what? I think 20, 30, 40 million dollars. इस तरह कुछ बनाया उसने in the arbitrage.
Yeah,
this
is what he's doing, dude.
Pyramid scheme चला रहा है वो इसके टोपी उसके
साथ. MSTR की हिस्ट्री देखो, वो मीम स्टॉक ही तो है वो.
Yeah.
मैंने बोला था ना, like we were discussing the other day, in my opinion, Michael Saylor is retail with a lot of money. He's no smart. Simple.
Simple. चलो एक I think realistic को अच्छा लगेगा. तेरा दोस्त Michael Burry is now. He has some put options. This 66% of his portfolio is like deployed in put options for Palantir and NVDIA.
Palantir and NVDIA. Okay, that makes sense because that's I mean that particular section is overheated.
That makes sense. Entire S&P right
that
now.
Definitely makes. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, I think to be honest, I think it's a very logical move.
Yeah, correct. But you know something. Who said that? Was it Livermore or Peter Lynch? One of them had said, right, that more money is lost trying to predicting a top than it is lost by buying at a wrong price. Something or the other, right? Like, so a Michael Burry can also sort of try and predict these tops, like predict these tops, but nobody knows when it's going to come, right? Like we were discussing, even in the Big Short, he was close, like his entire fund, Scion Capital, which has been shown in the movie, was close to a point of liquidation because of the premiums that they were paying on their credit default swaps, right? So he, I think, just became lucky at the end at the inevitable. So he was right on the analysis, but markets can remain exuberant and irrational longer than you can remain solvent.
And there is some like a little bit of juicing happening also, like जैसे उसमें दिखा रहे थे कि तेरे मूडीज जो है रेटिंग्स नहीं की गिरा रहे और ये सब लाइक बहुत सारी चीजें तो it remained like exuberant for a longer amount of time.
Correct. Like for example, like a Dr. Profit, like the Dr. Profit, that KOL, Dr. Profit, he tweeted, right, that Wintermute is planning to sue Binance. Right. So the point here is, in his mind, he's built a short position. He knows that some manipulation is happening. So he's like, why aren't they suing Binance? It is such a clear and open case. They should be doing it. But maybe they do sue them. But they could probably sue them 2 years later. They might not sue them now. You know what I mean? So Michael Burry's analysis was spot on. Like theoretically, everything made sense. But in the financial markets, when things are being publicly traded, they are not rational anymore. Financial markets are very symmetrical. They follow patterns, but those patterns aren't patterns of rationality. They are patterns of fear and greed.
Yeah, true. And plus, like these are like one of the, like NVIDIA is like one of the big 6 stocks जो उनके जो पूरा उनका Max 7. So
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of vested interest for it to like not crash. Also, like
And to
there
be
is.
honest, I'll tell you something. It's not about crashing. So Nvidia की आज stock value क्या है? 202, 205 चल रही है. ठीक है, it's above 200. It's trading above
I
200.
honestly feel it's very
Right?
overvalued, but
Right.
yeah.
So yeah, exactly. It's an overvalued stock. Maybe it's not. Let's assume it's not. Right? Maybe चलो वो 250 तक भी चला जाए. But when people like Michael Burry or anybody who's or Dr. Profit, let's say, when these people are thinking about short, they're not saying that the stock's going to fucking crash and die. Right? इनका क्या होता है कि it's the 15, 20, 30% correction. That's where they make their money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
And he's not predicting, but Michael Burry is actually predicting a crash, right? He put out his last tweet ki bubble. Bubble means ki there's going to be a fucking crash, right? Like that's what he is saying.
Correct.
That was months
And
ago.
on your point, Tony, one more thing to add, like you mentioned that they are gunning a 20-30% correction, right? Makes sense. So let's assume that a stock is its fair value is X, right? It's currently trading at $100, right? And it is overheated and overvalued as per all fundamental and technical indicators. It is overvalued. And somebody comes in and says that, you know what, this needs to correct by. I'm not saying that this will become worth $50, right? Like a 50% correction, it won't crash, but it definitely deserves a 10% correction. So the person builds a short thinking that it won't go to 50, like market structure won't break, but a 10% correction should be there, as in it should go from 100 to 90.
Yes.
Now, how financial market irrationality works, that 10% correction will come. But what if that 10% correction comes from 110 to 100?
Exactly.
After a 10% increase, it falls 10%. So that is the thing with irrationality, right? You never know. So, which is why it's okay to sort of build a long-term hypothesis, but it just like when you look at the KOLs, right? They're effectively sort of dilly-dallying from one position to the other, and which is why this entire leverage toxicity has gotten created. And I'm sure it also exists in traditional markets, but in the traditional markets, this kind of manipulation is very difficult to do. Like, for example, the reason why a Wintermute is being suspected of bringing about a possible lawsuit against Binance is because they were screwed because of Oracle price manipulation. Right? They weren't really screwed because there was some pump and dump happening. No, it's because Oracle price was manipulated, and there I think Wintermute lost about $10 to $15 million on that day. So it's said that they probably lost because their positions were liquidated at wrong prices, so to speak. They weren't really liquidated at their stop losses. So if the stop loss was here, it was liquidated here. So that is their bone of contention. And this problem does not exist in TradFi because the price is coming from NYSE or NASDAQ or whatever. Right? Here, every exchange has its own price. Like a Bitcoin price is 100K on Binance, it could be 101K on a Bybit. That is the issue.
Got it.
By the way, for this, you have the Clarity Act that is going to be in place, most probably.
Okay.
Which says
yeah, so the Clarity Act is basically to curtail to all of these issues that we're having on in the crypto space, right? So this same sort of act was implemented in the 70s for stocks and everything, right? I think 70s or the 93 actually. So वो उसमें लगाया था, and basically so it was more controlled information on the data that was coming in, right? So and that's what they're going to be doing in the crypto space, and I think that is expected to be जो बोल रहे कि it's supposed to go live by December this year. So let's see.
चलो भाई, एक और ये किसी ने सोनिक की प्राइस डाली है और बोला है कि they are brewing something big, but the makers want retail to sell max at bottom. They will pump price.
These guys, why don't they put like those meme, funny, sad Joker faces on their profile pictures? Why don't they do that?
Dude, yeah,
I can't believe Sonic is at 12 cents.
12 नहीं, आज तो सुबह 11.7 11 ऐसे कुछ था. So it's pretty much going to like I think 7-8 cents.
I think I think it was Tony who was saying it the other day, right? Tony or I think Kunal saying that It was probably the dumbest move that FTM did, rebranding to a Sonic.
Yeah, that was me when I told you that. It
This
was
is,
the
I
most
think, I'm trying
stupidest
to
thing they
expect
could
that
do.
from an Andre
Yeah.
Cronje. It's the dumbest move of this cycle.
So
बनी बनाई चीज को कैसे बिगाड़ते हैं इनको पता, इनसे इनसे सीख लो बेसिकली.
मैंने कल
मतलब
बोला था
पूरी
ना कि
बाजार से
तेज होना
सीखने से
अच्छी
अच्छा
बात
है,
है.
खुद देखते हैं हम.
देख, तेज होना अच्छी बात है, पर जरूरत से ज्यादा तेज होना भी अच्छी बात नहीं है.
हाँ, वो 1.5 कहते हैं ना उसको.
हाँ. तो एंड्रयू क्रॉनी को ऐसा लग रहा था कि भाई अब उसने नया वो फ्लाइंग टूलिप बना रहा है ना, एंड इट्स लाइक अ 3-4 ईयर प्रोसेस. सो दैट इज द थिंग कि जब 4 साल में ये फ्लाइंग टूलिप बनाऊंगा, वो चीजें बस बनाते रहेगा. नहीं, अभी तो टाइम लगेगा उसमें. लाइक देयर ओपनिंग बिड्स फॉर लाइक इन्वेस्टमेंट एंड स्टफ, लाइक कुछ ड्रामा चल रहा था वहां पे.
By the way, did you guys see वो वाला tweet where CZ tweeted about buying Aster and the price dropped
Yeah.
like 50% after that?
Yeah.
Disclosure.
किसी ने FTX का पुराना डाला था.
FTX का स्क्रीनशॉट डाला था. Buying FTT.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, we can at least agree on the fact that Binance is like not Binance is on its way down as an exchange in terms of like
Yeah,
volumes.
definitely. I think too.
Yeah, but doesn't look like from the volumes. Yeah, volumes are still like Binance today. I think is the second largest exchange in terms of volumes after CME when it comes to I think what crypto etc. So
I think
yeah,
like
Bybit is inching closer, but I
Yeah.
don't know how different a Bybit is to be honest from a Binance from its DNA. It's hard to judge, right?
मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि टॉप लग गया Binance का.
हो सकता है.
यानी
From a user perspective, I personally I'm a big Bybit fan, right? Like I was using Binance for like donkeys of years, and then I realized that they literally just sort of chase your stop losses. I mean, Bybit does that too, but
Yeah.
they are more subtle in that way. So, and in the overall way of experience, the entire platform, Bybit feels so much better than Binance.
ठीक है भाई, देखते हैं.
But it's just my personal opinion. I mean,
what about the fees?
Sorry.
What about the fees? बोल रहे हो?
Yeah. So fees is one of the things that happens with these exchanges when you're trading as an average trader. Fees जो है वो आपको almost लगभग हर जगह same ही पड़ती है. जो funding rates वगैरह होते हैं, they're pretty much the same. They don't vary much, right? Where you end up saving is when you start trading volumes and you get into their VIP tiers, right? And how these exchanges basically bifurcate on those VIP levels. So VIP 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's where you end up having to save more. So essentially, the bigger book you have, you eventually end up saving a lot more if you are one of their VIP clients, right? So just a gate pay, the VIP thresholds are much lower as compared to Bybit because Gate is much a smaller exchange, right? But Bybit, as soon as you go on higher VIP levels, your rates become much lower. So I've made a lot of savings using Bybit because of that.
But यार Gate को मानना पड़ेगा, they have sustained themselves. Like मतलब unlike KuCoin, Gate actually managed to like not only sustain but like do better in this market also. Like even मुझे याद है कि last cycle में there was like यार Gate को trust नहीं कर नहीं सकते, and this was like at the peak of the last cycle, but like उसके बाद से they picked up like again. So yeah, kudos to them, man. Chalo.
One of the other exchanges that I've heard a lot about is OKX, especially in the Middle East. So your normies, right, who used to go to Binance before, have now moved to OKX, at least in UAE.
Acha.
Because it's so much easier for them, right? Banks say direct OKX transfer from OKX, you can transfer direct to the bank. They have a direct OTC offer. So and their KYC and everything is done, so the banks don't sort of pester you कि ये पैसा किधर जा रहा है, कहाँ से आ रहा है. It makes it a lot easier. So especially in the UAE, a lot of the people are moving to OKX.
Got it. चलो ये एक और खबर आई कि एक और another 24 billion injection into the US banking system makes that 125 billion over the last 5 days. Is it an indication of like liquidity crisis sort of in the banking sector? That is what like people are that is why people are posting about this. Is it? क्या लगता है तुम लोग को?
I think it is. I mean, they are trying to sort of control The crisis, and I think that is what the Fed's narrative has been for the last 6, 7, 8 months. If you look at to Jerome Powell's, every time he comes and he talks about, that's what they've been trying to do, is trying to sort of control all of that. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, manage
it
liquidity. I
looks like
think
that.
their goal was always, even before they sort of switched from marking the end of QT and moving into a possible QE sort of scenario, they've always been of the opinion that banks should always remain solvent and there should be enough capital available. But obviously not to an extent that they want to fuel a hard sort of QE, etc. happening. But yeah, so this, I think they've done this before, and throughout last year they've been doing this in sort of sporadic intervals. So nothing new on this front. I mean, the biggest trigger right now is going to be a proper stance shifting towards QE, and then seeing why QE is happening. Is it a knee-jerk reaction to poor unemployment data? Or because if it's a knee-jerk reaction to poor unemployment data, the markets will correct.
Yeah.
And they historically have. But that combination is very
Because
critical to watch out for.
the thing is that there's also a lot of news about like delinquency क्या बोलते हैं उसको, delinquency rates
Delinquency.
on
Yeah.
Yeah.
on automobiles,
Auto
like
loans.
Yes.
auto
Cars,
loans
Yeah.
and
Home loans,
yeah,
automobiles, credit card defaults, and all of that. Yeah.
ये सब भी
Yeah.
like they're like heavily on the rise. So yeah, it might point to like a bigger crisis, but like let's see if they can manage it. ठीक है भाई आज
Yeah, I mean, to be honest,
have you guys seen that it's an 18th century graph that says that basically predicts the rise and fall of markets. You have like
it's
three
a
layers, right?
it's a farmer cycle.
It's
It's
like the
a farmer cycle graph which can be extrapolated.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The
So
farmers used
based
to
on
use that. So
that,
it predicts a
2026 is
2026 top.
the top, and then you
Top.
see a
Yeah.
massive sort of crash.
Correct.
Yeah.
So which is why this 2026 scenario makes sense, because I don't know, I'm still not like, even for a NEET, I'm still not being able to digest the fact that maybe like 4,900 or 4,950 was the top. Because even as BTC is rising, right, it is rising in a way that every rise is being touted as a top, right? Because we've seen moments of exuberance. This is not exuberance. Now you have KOLs. I'm also seeing certain KOLs on CT who are trying to be the smartass ones. They're saying that did 125K feel like euphoria? No, it did not feel like euphoria. It wasn't exuberance. So no data indicator is showing that we've seen exuberance this cycle. So it's hard for me to sort of fathom that this is when a top can get formed. So in BTC, in such a cautious state, either the asset price just keeps on rising, or like I said, it becomes range bound. And the other areas, there is so much of pessimism. Like,
yeah,
come on, I
tops
mean,
don't form.
when there is exuberance, even junk will rise. I'm not saying that it will rise like 2017 or maybe like 2021, but anything will rise, even if it rises in pockets.
Yeah.
But that stage has to come. After that, this topping out phase can actually happen, because topping out phase will happen when everyone's convinced that the recession is behind us. There is no recession coming.
Yeah.
Like even if this credit crunch that the Fed is sort of anticipating gets plugged in through more money printing, right? That's going to be their answer. We know what they're going to do. If there is a liquidity crisis, if there is a delinquency crisis, right? That delinquency crisis is going to hit the banks, right? Not the consumer. The consumer won't care. He's raised his hand saying that I don't have money. Do whatever you want. The credit crunch will come in the banks. So what will they do? They'll push money into the banks. Simple as that.
Yes. अब या पैसे भेजेंगे जब तक सॉल्व नहीं हो जाए, और या तो जब तक क्रैश नहीं हो जाए, लाइक जो भी है, व्हाटएवर, लाइक एज दे डू. चलो एक चीज, लाइक काफी लोग पूछते रहते हैं, लाइक एनीवन हु वांट्स टू गेट इनटू क्रिप्टो, सो वांट्स टू स्टार्ट ट्रेडिंग. हमने लाइक पुराने पॉडकास्ट पे बात भी करी है कि बाइंग सॉर्ट ऑफ लाइक tokens that have just have a DEX strategy, seem to be cleaner right now. And a lot of people, they want to invest in it. So the first thing what they go through is like the biggest hurdle for them is like creating a wallet, remembering the seed phrase and all of that. So aaj thoda, like let's do like sort of a discussion on where we discuss sort of crypto wallets, and try to explain people how they work, and what they should look out for, because as you know, ये decentralized system में काफी hacking whacking और ये सब होती है, and you have to be like very careful. So yeah, let's start. I think we'll start with Narkundi. तो Narkundi तो wallets पे start कर दे तू सबसे पहले कि crypto wallets कितने प्रकार के होते हैं और कौन कौन से हैं और which are the major ones that people are using right now.
ठीक है. So in terms of wallets, जब crypto wallets की बात करते हैं, दो मेन क्लासिफिकेशन आ जाती हैं कि hot wallets and cold wallets, right? जो hot wallets are your active wallets in which you are interacting with any DeFi protocol जहाँ पे तुम actively उसको use कर रहे हो. Think of it as your active trading amount your portfolio जिसमें तुम in and out करे जा रहे हो. Now the more protocols that you interact with, the more it becomes suspectable कि whether you're approving any transaction की saying कि हाँ इसको पैसे भेज दो या wrong address को भेज दो, versus cold wallets which are intentionally designed कि उसका interaction itself is minimal. You connect it, let's say a hardware wallet like Ledger या जो भी है, Trezor, whichever you might have, you move big amounts into it, you disconnect it and you keep it out. So it's not interacting with any protocol. So users के लिए main risk आ जाता है कि which transactions they are approving and which protocols they are interacting with. वहाँ पे सबसे ज़्यादा risk आता है. इसलिए wallets में, like with any IT application, like it's always best कि you shouldn't have a central point of failure. So if you're 100% in centralized exchange wallets, that's also a risk because you could be blocked, you could be given some reason कि explanation बताओ क्या है इसका. If you have a browser extension, that is, I think, the easiest because usme you don't know, sometimes jaldi mein you sign a transaction, you approve it, you think it's going to a wallet, but it could be effectively a smart contract which has hidden code and is designed to drain funds from your wallet, and you're effectively giving it approval. So udhar risk hai. So if you have any crypto, don't keep it in one place. Keep it split between cold wallets like Ledger, Trezor. Keep some of your trading amount jitna use karna actually in browser extensions like MetaMask, Rabi, wherever, and keep some in centralized exchange wallet jahan pe obviously the UI is much better, but then obviously there are trade-offs between DeFi protocols versus keeping something on SEX.
Wow, pretty well done. Actually, I'm surprised. इतनी समझ
Me too. I know.
इतनी समझदारी से समझाया, that's like shocking.
समझदारी से समझाया.
इतनी समझदारी ने मुझे the shocking part is he knows that much, bro.
Surprise. मैंने तुम लोग के लिए ELI5 वर्जन करके दिया, but it's okay.
पता नहीं सामने ग्रॉक चल रहा होगा और कान में
एक्सप्लेनर वीडियो देखी होगी सुबह सुबह.
मैं ही नहीं हूँ.
वो कौन सी कंपनी के थे, मैकेंजी के थे जो पूरा नहीं
डेलॉयट.
अभी मैकेंजी ने भी किया है अभी और डेलॉयट ने भी किया, दोनों
गवर्नमेंट को चुना
नहीं
लगाया.
मैकेंजी नहीं, वो था कौन सा है वो, पीडब्ल्यूसी का था, मिडिल ईस्ट में उनका वो स्कैंडल हुआ था, एंड देन डेलॉयट का भी ऑस्ट्रेलिया में हुआ है. हाँ,
मन भरा जो चाहिए दे देगा ग्रॉक,
Let's talk. All right, let's talk about public private keys or importance क्या है उसकी, or like how should like people handle that, and why is it like so important, crypto adding?
Yeah, private keys for me, देखो, I'm very old school when it comes to wallets and stuff, right? You guys have seen me how I am.
तो शुरू से था कि पहले जब वॉलेट बनाना पड़ता है तो you get like.
So what happens is when you're creating a wallet, right? Especially, so most of the time, the first wallet that you will create when you're getting into crypto, right, is probably going to be on a SEX. So when you open an account in Binance or Gate or KuCoin or whatever it is, right? They don't usually have. They have like a private key, but it's mostly to re-access your account या इस तरह का, ठीक है? उन wallets के अपने वो होते हैं. They have like a Web3 wallet as such, these exchanges, right? Which then provide you with a private key. What are private keys? They're basically essentially sort of 12 or 13 letter password, right? Which only you have access to. And they are random, basically names or places or whatever, now random words, right? And they basically help you access your wallet. जो sex वाले होते हैं mostly I don't know, a lot of people, I haven't met a lot of people who use a sex Web3 wallet as much. वो अगर sex पे बैठे होते हैं तो they mostly use the main जो spot wallet या futures wallet होता है उसका.
Yeah, but how
Apart
does
from
that
that,
work? Sex का Web3 wallet, मतलब कि like what is the difference between like your normal hot wallet and a sex
so
का
what it
Web3?
does, so Web3 wallet basically जो sex का Web3 wallet होता है. So for that, like he explained, right? जो तेरा जैसे custodial wallet होता है, you have your MetaMask or Rabby or Phantom or whatever wallet you're using, right? So Sex provides a Web3 wallet. So these Sexes, right? They provide a sort of a version of this Web3 wallet. This wallet, essentially, when they say Web3 wallet, basically means that that specific wallet is not centralized at Sex. Okay, it's a decentralized wallet that is probably outside the parameters of the SEC control. Now, what is the truth behind that? We don't know. I don't know personally, okay, whether it's centralized or not, but that's what they claim. And they say it's a Web3 wallet. It's something that is outside their SEC's parameters. Okay. When it comes to MetaMask or Rabby and all of these wallets, the first thing, I mean, in our case, when we were starting with crypto, right, us time pe, there was only Ether wallets. So there was a website, you would go into My Ether wallet and you would create an Ether wallet, right? And you could create those wallets using like 3 or 4 options. So you would get a mnemonic phrase, which is like this 12-digit passphrase, 12-character passphrase, whatever it is, or you would get a keystroke file. Now, the keystroke file was this file that when you're creating the wallet, it used to generate this encrypted file, which basically had your login credentials and everything, all of it together, which is encryption. And what happens is every time you log in, you basically upload the keystroke file and you enter your password and you get access to your wallet, right? A lot of people, and even the My Ether wallet says that it's more safer. But again, when it comes to keystroke files and all of this, if somebody has access to your laptop through phishing, through Trojan or whatever it is, right? Your keystroke files are in danger if they are in a laptop that is getting connected to the internet. And that is a risk that is always going to be there. So for me, the most safest, and I've been very safe based on that, is what I do is I have like these, I take the mnemonic phrases, 12, 13, 15 character phrases. And what I do is I have a physical book and I write them down physically there, right? And when it's on a pen and it's on paper, right, it's unhackable. It becomes completely unhackable. Nobody can basically go and hack my diary. And like Adil said, I have probably worked with 40 wallets at one time or 100 wallets at one time, splitting my amount across multiple wallets. And, I have one major wallet that I'm interacting with, let's say on DeFi protocols or, and our days, you had ICOs that were happening on their protocols websites, their main web pages. And they were the major phishing scams that were running back even in the last cycle. Even today, this is one of the major scams that you see on Twitter. For example, you have airdrop claims and you have, the new wallet access claim and stuff like that. And people go ahead and they click those links to maybe think that you're going to get an airdrop from, let's say, Binance or MetaMask, and you have all these scam links coming in. And the minute you open that and you connect your wallet, like Adil said, you're giving them access. You're giving them the access to spoof you, to basically drain your wallet and get everything out. So ideally, yes, you should have only one wallet or 2 wallets that you're using as your hot wallet, and split whatever you're trading into these 2 or 3 wallets. Don't even trade from one specific wallet for everything that you're doing, or don't connect to just one. Use one wallet connecting to all different protocols. And so and the second part is a lot of people become lazy. A lot of times you get hacked or you get drained because you are lazy, nothing else. I mean, if you're putting in an address to send some funds to somewhere and you're copying it from somewhere, you have to double check, triple check last 5 letters or the digits of the address. And a lot of the times, what happens is it's the last 2 digits that are changed, or the first, second digit that is changed. And that's where these guys sort of, drain you out. So you have to be very careful in transferring. We've faced this issue ourselves. I've been a victim of one of these sites which was claiming to have an ICO pre-sale. I lost, I think, $12,000 on that drain. And it was not because the website was smart. It was because I was stupid and I didn't see that when I was basically confirming the transaction, the gas fee was about $2,000 in ETH. And I was like, man, maybe this is because the ETH at that point in time, ETH sometimes gas fees used to go high. And I was like, maybe it's just because of traffic, right? And I still went ahead. And at the back of the mind, I had this thinking, maybe I'm getting scammed, but because I was lazy and I was too power drunk on getting everything okay with myself, I went on with it, right? And it drained me. It drained me like within 1 second. It just cleaned out everything. So you have to be careful your own self. It's hackers can't get into your wallets unless you don't give access to them.
Yeah.
तो
there's one
बहुत बार ऐसा भी
analogy
बोल
the analogy that you can use for approving transactions is almost like reading the terms and conditions page. How many times do you read that? Like, हाँ ठीक है okay, I approve.
Exactly. That's a very well said.
बहुत बार ऐसा भी होता है कि आपके वॉलेट में कोई रैंडम टोकन आ जाता है कि कोई आपको एयर ड्रॉप कर रहा है या कुछ कर रहा है एंड यू कैन सी दैट इन योर वॉलेट बट व्हेन यू क्लिक ऑन इट क्या बोलते हैं कि दैट विल ड्रेन योर एंटायर वॉलेट और sometimes when like suppose you're sending money to different people और उनमें से किसी एक का जो वॉलेट है वो कुछ सस्पिशियस है तो आपने उसको भेजा और आपका एकदम से वॉलेट ड्रेन हो गया तो ये सब भी होता है. So let's let's
But
talk
you have
about
to see that all these these wallets, like you have these non-custodial wallets, so like you have MetaMask, you have Rabby and all these. In the last couple of years, they've actually increased their security levels quite a lot. I mean, the issues that we faced in the last cycle have reduced drastically in this cycle. I mean, most of the time now, if you're getting duped or if you're getting hacked or if you're getting drained, it's majorly because of your own weaknesses or your own fault. It's not because of the wallet itself. I mean, MetaMask, maybe if you have those wallets that tokens that are getting sent to you, right? MetaMask does not show you openly those tokens. It will only show you the tokens that you actually bought or traded with, right? It does not show you those random tokens that are being sent to you unless you basically see those hidden tokens and interact with them. Then you're just stupid. Right.
आप कभी-कभी अपना वो देखते हो ना, आप क्या बोलते हैं कि वॉलेट BSC स्कैन पे या ईथर स्कैन पे जाके
you can see all the tokens.
You can see all the tokens. आपको क्या रे यार $2000 आए हुए मेरे वॉलेट में किसी ने गलती से भेज दिया होगा. That's how people fall for these even the Nigerian scams, right?
Exactly.
Correct.
It's like laundry करते jeans में से पैसे निकल गए.
पैसे निकल गए तो वैसे आप हो जाते हो.
नहीं होता.
एक आध अठन्नी निकल जाए तो
वो जब क्लीन करते हैं तो वो बिल्कुल क्लीन करते हैं.
Correct.
Guys, there's a Chrome extension. I highly recommend everyone gets it. It's called Scam Sniffer. Google Chrome पे. So it just runs in the background, and before you're approving a transaction, it checks for common phishing sites and gives you a sense, okay, is there a degree of risk in this alert here? Watch out for these things. And then you can move on with it. So it just adds, I don't know, an extra second, but it's completely worth it.
So, honestly speaking, in terms of security, there's one thing I always tell anybody who I know who wants to get into crypto space, and there are one or two things that I tell them is, number one, don't open any link that is sent to you by somebody you don't know. Never open any link. Okay? Never open a link that is giving anything for free. Right? Airdrop ho gaya, tokens ho gaya. Never open those links because nothing in the world is for free. Even for airdrop, you have to go and connect and work for them. And the third is, if you're doing anything, I don't know how to say it, hanky-panky on your laptop, don't use crypto wallets on that laptop. Keep it separate from that laptop. The minute you log on to VPN or onto a site that is black and orange, you are opening yourself to a lot of issues.
Black and yellow, right? Black and yellow.
I don't know what the color is, but yes.
Okay, you don't know. Achha, theek hai.
I mean, in my laptop, it's orange. So I'm just saying, you keep your activities away from your financial, basically a book where you're keeping everything. So you keep that separate. That is you have to be extremely careful with that.
So let's talk about the future and like what's gonna happen. Like with so much in quantum computing, और ये मैं tweets पढ़ रहा था कि in a couple of years, ये सब इनकी जो security है और वो सब है वो it will make it all redundant. So like, do you actually believe that will happen, realist? And where do you also see the future? Like a lot of people are now saying कि ये wallets को they will use this as like your ID and stuff, like when there is more adoption of crypto. So do you actually see that happening? Like, yeah, or this is just like, कि हम crypto जाएगा दुनिया बदल देगा वैसी वाली talk?
Crypto and ID I'll answer the latter first. I don't know how one will do that, because you can probably use your exchange UID as your ID because that's where you've done KYC. But where you've not done any KYC, there is no ID linked to it, right? So I don't know how you're probably going to assign an ID, so to speak, with it. Like MetaMask does
You'll
not
have
do
to
any KYC, which is
maybe
why somebody goes for a hot wallet.
so you have to register your wallet with like some entity, and then that becomes your sort of ID.
Yeah,
or something.
but yeah, that could be a way, to be honest. There are many
I think
such providers who do
that
that,
happened
which
in
is
Europe,
proof
right?
of human.
A couple of years ago, like they
Yeah.
wanted people to sort of submit their MetaMask addresses and get that KYC.
Yeah, so these are essentially called that proof of human protocols, right? They do that. So you probably come and link your address and you register it with a particular set of documents, right? And those documents are also sort of verified using like a Substack or something, or a SumSub, which is, sorry, not Substack, SumSub, which is your decentralized sort of KYC verification engines. But yeah, and if somebody wants to get doxxed, they definitely can do that. Yeah, that could be something in the future. But the problem currently is, especially where KYCs are required at present, are these traditional BFSI sectors. So they are the ones who usually sort of, which is banking, financial services, and insurance. They are the ones who usually look for such strict KYC checks. Those kind of KYC checks aren't really performed by the likes of a SumSub or anything. All they do is essentially just whether the person is. It's a liveness check. If you actually want to do some sort of KYC verification, it's that additional layer of KYC verification, which is your AML check, word check, all of these uh, terrorism checks, etc. Right? PMLA checks. So all of that is actually done by, and those are expensive checks, right? The software that you have to buy is pretty expensive. So the only person who can actually do that is somebody like an exchange. So they're the ones who usually invest their money into it. They're the ones who do that. So I don't see that becoming very prevalent right now, maybe because I don't see any need. Like, is my bank account my identity number? The answer is no. Like for my identity card, I have a separate identity card. My bank account is separate. My bank account could be linked with it, but that's not my identity. So tomorrow there could be a case where my tax identification number, and that is already happening, right? So my tax identification number is basically a parent account number, right? Which is an aggregation of all bank accounts that I have because it's linked with one particular identification number. Similarly, what's going to happen is your crypto accounts will also be linked with it, right? And that essentially becomes your case where your exchanges will also be linked with your tax identification number, which is something that in India people are already doing. Like, for example, a KuCoin links your account with your PAN card, right? Which basically treats your KuCoin account as an independent bank account, right? Or a trading account, or like an insurance account, which is effectively all under this one umbrella. So that is already happening. I don't know whether somebody would want to link a decentralized wallet or not, because the whole ethos of decentralization is to be off grid. So why would you bring that into the grid? So I don't know. Maybe registering a MetaMask or any of these hot wallets or cold wallets, which are essentially out of the circuit, bring them into the circuit. I don't think makes sense for a user to do it. But yeah, exchanges are definitely going to go that way, and they're already going that way. So everything is essentially becoming consolidated under your tax
Even
identification
governments
number.
will go that way, right? They would want to know your hot wallet,
Yeah,
cold
of
wallet,
Absolutely.
course,
etc.
of course.
Yeah. So they would want to know your cold wallets. The answer is, do you want them to know your cold wallets? So what the government will have control over, like a government cannot have control over a MetaMask, right? Because MetaMask is a decentralized entity, right? Anybody can go and create that wallet. But a government can enforce measures on a KuCoin saying that if you want to operate in my country, if you want to take withdrawals from a bank account into your, because like a MetaMask does not say that you can load up directly from your bank account, right? They are not into that business. Their business is storage of crypto, right? No matter where you get it from, you can come and store it here. It's a decentralized wallet. We don't have access to your passkeys, and if you lose it, the money's gone. In the exchange, like Adil mentioned initially, is that it comes with a lot of convenience that even if you forget your password, you can call them up, you can answer a couple of questions, and they'll restore access to that account. But that comes with a lot of challenges. One of those challenges being that, you know what, it is under government scrutiny, because a KuCoin, if it wants to accept money into their accounts using a UPI, right? The government will say, okay, happily do it. But you know what? Everybody who's opening an account on your platform, I need access to that data. And you need to deduct tax at source, which is called TDS, you need to deduct it and deposit it against the person's PAN card. So all of that is there, right? So governments are already doing it, and they definitely want to do it. But why would a user go and link a hot wallet or like a decentralized wallet is, I don't know, that it'll be, I mean, I doubt they'd want to do that. It's like saying that I have $1 million hidden under the bed. Do I want to tell the government that I have cash at my home? I think a MetaMask wallet is pretty much similar, right? What's in my bank account, I've declared. What's outside the bank account, I don't want to declare. So that could probably be a case.
And for the governments, it's not really very much difficult to know what's under your bed, because eventually whatever you want to do, you will have to move that money from MetaMask to KuCoin or whatever exchange to get it into your bank.
Exactly.
Right? And that's where the government gets to know where this money comes from, right? So, so they don't need to basically go ahead and, put all of these guys onto KYC and AML and all of that. They have central points that just go on and they'll be like, you guys are the gatekeepers, you do this for us.
Correct. So the moment you interact with it even once, you will immediately get a message from the exchange saying that, hello, thank you for depositing the funds, but you know what? Your withdrawals have been blocked. And in order to reactivate withdrawals, you need to answer a set of questions. This money which has come into your account has come from an unidentified wallet. Please tell us who this wallet belongs to. If it is yours, what are the source of funds? Similar. So it will rely on your weak moment. The moment you interact with a centralized entity, you're gone. You're busted. On the quantum computing side, I think this has been a long-standing conversation. I don't know whether this was a point of conversation back in 2017 or not, but this definitely was a point of conversation in 2021 as well. And I don't know if you have to break codes, which is these wallet codes using quantum computing. I'm of the opinion there is better use of quantum computing out there. Quantum computing is not available to every Tom, Dick, and Harry at home, right? So anybody sitting at home it's not like Bitcoin mining, right? Because a quantum computer itself will take a building's worth of energy and space, right? It's not that it's there on your laptop and you're, okay, you know what? This is my enemy. I found his MetaMask wallet address. Let me hack it. Let me hack the cryptography of his wallet and his address. So if quantum computing, it is definitely in use. And the idea is, why not use that to find the cure for cancer? Why do you want to hack into somebody's wallet? I think that's better use for quantum computing. So I don't think that's something that we should be worried about.
DPR के things like that, कि इतना जो आता रहता है कि DPR के hackers ने कर लिया, they are state sponsored, right? That is what they say. So
but again, the amount of but quantum computing is not just about. So the thing with DPRK is they are very smart hackers, but the thing with quantum computing is it's not just brains. There is a large amount of energy requirement which goes in.
Yes,
you cannot run quantum computers on a UPS and a simple CPU or like I said, a very smart coder with a laptop is a very dangerous hacker, which is an asset for DPRK. But does that guy have a nuclear power plant funding his entire quantum computer energy needs? The answer is no. So I'm of that view that I think it's more hoax right now than a reality. So, and like I mentioned, it was there in previous cycles as well. And this has been like a long drawn conversation. It's been there for the past 10 years, right? So the idea here is, I think there are better uses, and the requirements are, unless or until quantum computing is can be done from your phone, I don't think we should be worried about. And I don't think we are headed anywhere near that.
Exactly. That is the sort of opinion I have. Okay, the threat in theory is real. That is possible.
Yeah.
But for that to realize, we are maybe decades away from it.
Correct.
Because to be honest, right now, let's leave alone the space and the energy. The amount of money required to run a quantum computer.
I doubt even if they hack all the crypto wallets, also they'll probably end up recovering that amount of money from it. It'll probably be a break-even venture. It'll probably be a break-even venture. You know what I mean?
It makes no sense. And let's look at it from another perspective. If let's suppose you do have general availability for quantum computers. Okay, if there's a hacker sitting in, let's say, DPRK, and he's using a quantum computer which is on his laptop, for example, it's like a small size of the NVIDIA chip, and I have a laptop and he's using it, right? But doesn't that actually mean that people who are running these sexes and these MetaMask and all these, they have the same availability as well?
Yeah,
and they basically layer up their security based on quantum levels 100%. As well, right? So 100%. You have to sort of take it both ways.
Yeah. ठीक है भाई, चलो कोई इन्फ्लुएंसेस जो ऐसा लगा तुमने कि पास्ट वीक में कुछ हंसी क्या बोलते हैं कि बेवकूफी वाला काम किया हो तो प्लीज शेयर।
अभी तो 99% तो बैरेज बन गए हैं, ठीक है।
अच्छा
99% बैरेज बन चुके हैं। एक आध है जो अभी भी वो कर रहे हैं कि बुक मार्केट दिस विल डू दिस। एक तो जो भी बुक मार्क वाले होते हैं, है ना, एक तो सबसे पहले अपने फीड से वो उनको सीरियसली लेना छोड़ दो जो केवल है who
I
say that
hope
bookmark
महीने
this
में 10
tweet.
बुक मार्क
Either they
करेगा
delete that tweet, correct, either they delete that tweet altogether, है ना, or they do some hanky panky with it. So beware of those. So 99% have actually flipped bearish, and yeah, the remaining ones are actually turning into a joke now. So
Hey,
yes.
CT
market
is
must
dead
have no
as of
market
now.
is opening in half an hour. Okay, I
Yeah,
was wondering
I
market.
mean,
Yeah.
you know, like when 100% of them turn bearish, I mean that is a good time to go in, I guess.
Yeah, that would be our
Yeah,
bet.
yeah,
That would be
Yeah.
our bet. Yeah.
Extreme fear पे तो आज आ गया है, so it will be in this mode for a while. Maybe you see like a little bounce or in and out, but ये extreme fear वाले part से तो फिर bounce ही करना है. Like that is what I feel. क्योंकि even when it
Yeah.
go अब even when it ये पूरे cycle में if you see कि starting में when the cycle started, right, every time there was a crash, like a little bit of a crash, and उसके बाद like maybe like a 20-30% up move, cycle एकदम fear से सीधा extreme greed में चले आ रहा था, like वो
Yeah.
था। अब
Correct.
बहुत दिन या यानी एक्सट्रीम फियर में तो बहुत दिनों बाद आया अभी है। लास्ट टाइम आई थिंक इट वाज व्हेन इट वाज लाइक 49 के बीटीसी गिर गया था, उस टाइम पे था एक्सट्रीम फियर में। सो आई थिंक दिस इज लाइक अ गुड साइन कि वी आर सॉर्ट ऑफ कमिंग टू द बॉटम एंड इट विल रिवर्स फ्रॉम हियर। ठीक है, ऑन दिस नोट, लाइक, कमेंट, शेयर, सब्सक्राइब, नेगेटिव कमेंट्स
Hit the bell icon, report, whatever.
Why report, bro? Why Narkundi? Why do you have to say
इसके
negative
jokes
stuff,
के
bro?
ऊपर, like, you know.
Yeah, and this is not financial advice, and
Oh yeah, please.
yeah, and anyone who's providing any financial advice on CT also यानी बेवकूफ है वो, उसके पास इतनी अच्छी एडवाइस होती है आपको देने के लिए, तो वो सीटी पे नहीं बता रहा
सीटी
था
पे नहीं
खुद
बैठा होता।
या खुद अपना ट्रेड करके अपने घर में बैठा होता वो मजे से। सो
कैसे अपन बैठे थे अभी?
टेक एवरीथिंग विद
Correct.
अ pinch of salt, and yeah, happy trading. All right, see you.
All right,
Bye.
peace out, boys.